So hello, I'm going to talk to you about the Metamodel, the NLP Metamodel of language, which was one of the first models, and it works to challenge and ask questions about the structures in logic and language that can give us the kind of limitations and problem type issues that we sometimes have. So, those of you that know the Metamodel, it's always useful to learn the Metamodel and to practice the Metamodel, and you must do this because it will make you better. So you can have a little go at that sentence. But the pattern I wanted to do just in this quick soundbite is this wonderful pattern of generalisation from the word always. Always or never, or maybe sometimes, or occasionally, or from time to time, or rarely, or uniquely, or one-off, or never. So there's often an always in a sentence or in a problem sentence, and it's because we've categorized our experience to all be the same. It's like in metaprograms, it's all the same, there are no distinctions and exceptions and differences. So as you know, the Metamodel question, when someone goes, oh, it's always like that, she's always like that with me, he always does that, I always am so stupid, this always happens to me, is to go, always? Was there ever a time when it wasn't? The invitation is to find the counterexample and what's different, to filter for what's different, so that you break down that generalization and you can start to perceive more richly kind of textured potential experiences, some of which may have gone down that road and some of which haven't. And from there, you've then got this enriched, updated perception and model of the situation from which to make new choices, to seek new goals, to be able to just do some new things and see the opportunities and the potential in something. So always is a really wonderful pattern to notice as it's coming up in your own internal dialogue, not only when it's in the surface structure of you can actually hear it, you're actually saying it to yourself, but also, of course, it shows up in so many of the other patterns. So, for example, in the what we call the modal operator of necessity type patterns, the you ought to, you shoulds, you have to, you need to, it's a hidden always. You always need to, actually. You always ought to. You never shouldn't. So again, there's a generalization being packed in there that can be just raised into conscious awareness and new distinctions, exceptions, and differences sought, because that's the way to deconstruct unuseful generalizations that you've made and start to live in a fresher, newer, richer kind of world. One of another patterns where it's hidden is the cause-effect. You know, you make me X, X makes Y happen. There's a little always in there that's kind of hidden, but it's there nevertheless. It's being presented as a rule that is fixed and stable and unchangeable. And one of the wonderful things with the Metamodel is to be able to challenge and change and update and reorganize our experience such that the world opens up to us again. So this is your reminder, practice your Metamodel. It's wonderful. You really ought to. It always yields results.